Some of y'all gonna be mad at me. What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Everybody, let's talk about it. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Queen Sugar Season 4, Episode 10. We start off this episode at the diner. Nova is there and she's not supposed to be there, and Vi goes up to her and lets her know. Nova says it's been months and she's not going to give up on her, and for her to please not give up on Nova. Vi tells her she has memories that are seeping into her again and it doesn't feel good, and she said that's on her. And Nova is telling her that she's sorry, you know, she should have discussed it with everybody, she should have got their approval. And she said, if I would have said no, would you have listened? Keep the colors in the lines. Take flight. Darla is getting Blue ready, and Micah comes over to pick him up to take him to City Park. They leave, and she gets a call from her mom, and her mom says that her friend Jordan is in town, and she just loved Jordan so much. Now, if you remember, Jordan is the girl that she went to the party with, that she used to get drunk with all the time and high with or whatever when she was in college. It's really short notice or whatever, but she gets her number. We see Charlie come into the diner, and she sits with Nova and tells her that she has a gift for her, and she thanks her for her help, you know, when she was drunk and all of that stuff. So not too much, what Nova says was not going to be too much to celebrate this year. And Charlie tells her that the decision for the highway is coming real soon, and after that she's going to have to be in full campaign mode. So she asked her, you know, to do a getaway with her. She said this is the first time, you know, the only time I'll be able to do a little getaway. Do you want to come along? And Nova tells her she would love to. This was really cute when they was in the car listening to the music, rocking out, jamming, right? And she asked her, how's you doing? And Charlie says she's doing better, and she thanks her for the column she wrote in the paper apologizing. And she asked her about insurance. She said the insurance won't cover it because of the investigation that's going on. She needs to find evidence that Old World Energy colluded with the Landrys, or, you know, at least Francis, to burn down her situation, you know, to burn down the mill. And Nova's like, well, girl, you know, I can help you. You know what I'm saying? I am a journalist. I can dig around. You don't have to do this on your own. Teacher, you got to use the resources that you have, right? So they arrive in the woods at this like meditation place or whatever. It's like a retreat place where you eat raw meals and you stay in the woods, child. You go pee in the outhouse, and Nova's looking around like, girl, we could have just went to New Orleans, bitch. Like, what is this? Okay. Charlie is like, it's rustic. You know, it's like when we was camping, we was kids. Micah and Blue at the amusement park, and they talk about Deisha and Pops, and, you know, Micah kind of talks to him about, you know, is he good with that? And he tells him the first time his mom and dad would start dating other people, he would feel sad. But then he met the other people and they were cool. And, you know, he gonna get 2 Christmas gifts. He gonna get 2 birthday parties, 2 graduation parties. You know, 2 of everything is great. So it's not always the bad thing. And sometimes he did feel sad, but he was like, you know, are you gonna call me when you're sad? And he was like, I promise I'm gonna call you. So I thought that was a really sweet bonding moment between the 2 of them. Nova and Charlie walk through the woods, and they're talking to each other. They're like taking this whole episode to like kind of reconnect with each other. And they're talking about Remy. So she said she really had genuine feelings for Remy, but she thought that, and they never had sex. Him and Charlie never had sex, so she thought that it would be okay. She didn't talk to her about it basically because she didn't want her to stop her from doing what she wanted to. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. How many times I done said, how many times we have said that, y'all? As a family, we say Nova just do what she want to do and she don't think about nobody else. And that's her flaw. Same thing with the book, right? And she admits that. So I like how she's standing up in it. I could do the reconciliation. When you do wrong and you stand up in your wrong, okay, all right, cool. Charlie says, well, why do you do that? You know, I just never fully understood what is that thing about you. And she's just like, well, I'm just trying to figure it out. What she said about her was right. You know, it got her thinking. Like she said, she didn't want her to stop her from doing what she wanted to do. So Charlie was like, well, you rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And she was like, yeah, you know, that's a flaw that I need to work on. It is a personality flaw, y'all, and it has been since season 1. Paula has lunch with her friend, Jordan, and the friend is just going on and on and on and on and on. I was like, girl, is you high right now? Because she just would not shut up. And she's just talking about how she was moving in. Like, she was living in D.C., and she talking about moving to Louisiana. This ain't going to be good for nobody, okay? But she talking about moving to Louisiana, and she really looking at New Orleans. And, you know, Darla said it's nice and quiet and slow. And she was like, girl, I know you still be in these streets, girl. So, like, where's the party tonight? And she was like, I'm not about that life. I don't do that no more. And then the girls, you remember when we was at this party? And you remember, like, we were so messed up. And while it was crazy, like, y'all gave us a show. So, apparently, she was with one dude in the living room. And then she said, next thing I know, the other dude was gone. And this other dude dragged you into the bathroom. And you was with him. And, you know, like, all of this stuff. So, like, she finds out all this stuff, and this is obviously very traumatizing towards her, right? And she kind of runs out of the restaurant. She makes up an excuse. Now she sees the bar directly across the street, and she goes in. At this point, I was really disappointed, and I was not upset with her. I was just like, damn, girl, like, oh my God. Like, I know that hit her like a ton of bricks, but it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe she was trying to find out what happened that night. So apparently she didn't know what happened that night at all. She has no memory of it. So like she didn't know if it was 1, 2, 5. She didn't know. So she finds out it's 2 guys. She goes across the street. She orders shot, honey. She was drinking them down, and I was just like, oh my God, here we go. Micah and Blue are at the park again. Blue has to go to the bathroom, and Micah says, okay, I'll go with you. He like, no, I can go by myself. So he goes to the boys' line to stand in the bathroom, but the line is so long and he has to go. He runs into the girls' bathroom when the ladies come out the bathroom, and Micah turns around to check his phone. He gets a text from Kiki saying that Aunt is coming home, and when he turns back around, he don't see Blue in the line. So he walks away looking for Blue, and when Blue come out, he looking for him. So Blue runs into the police, and a police officer puts him in the back of the car, you know, so he could wait for wait for Micah to find him. Vaya's at the diner, and she having problems with her Fitbit or her iPhone watch or whatever that was. And Joaquin wanted to help her with her phone or whatever, and he helped her with it. He was like, you can check your email too. And she was like, I'm not trying to do all that or whatever. Like, she's still mean to him, and he kind of smiled a little bit. Like I told y'all, that's going to be like a little bonding thing for them or whatever. He gonna break her, you know what I'm saying? Because he's just such a sweet boy. He like such a good boy or whatever. Like, he generally told somebody restaurant up because he really thought somebody was gonna, kill his mama or hurt his mama or whatever. Like, he's serious. So, he loyal, like, to a fault. You know what I mean? So, like, it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be real cute. Micah finds Blue, but when he walks up on the cop, obviously the cop pushes him back and is like, wait, hold up, let me see some ID. My thing is, we never saw the cop say, who is your cousin? What is his name? What do he look like? Nothing. He didn't ask him nothing about the cousin. So what is showing the ID gonna do? You could turn around and ask the little boy and avoided all of this. But he was trying to do too much, and he was pushing on Micah. Then he like put his hand on his gun when Micah like dropped whatever he had in his hand. I think it was like an icy or something like that. He dropped in his hand. He dropped on the ground. And so he was like, hold up, wait a minute, do what I tell you to do. And all of that power struggle you get into with the police, like, for no reason. Like, I'm just trying to get my cousin. He turns around and is like, is this your cousin? And Blue is like, that's my cousin. That's Micah. He's my cousin. And so he lets him out of the car. Like, you can even see on his face, like, damn, I might have made a mistake. Like, you're doing too much. As a teacher, all the time they tell us don't get into a power struggle with the student, because now you gotta like do way more than you was doing, and if they come back at you with something crazy, now I feel like you gotta come back with something crazier. So it's not good to get in that power struggle. And listen, I don't know what's going on with these men folks, child, with these egos that's just, fragile, child. I don't know. I is jogging at the park or walking at the park, and she runs into Darla. Darla is stumbling all over the park. She's very, very drunk. She's like mumbling, talking about she's looking for Blue. She had to get Blue, but she's like, girl, they at City Park, not at this park. Vi tells her she gonna take her home, and she kind of like, Darla, like, I'm okay, I can walk, and real like defiant. Hollywood Prosper and Ralph Angel are together, and they talking about how Prosper be booed up, okay, ba-doo-da-doo, boot up. Boot up. Okay, well, Miss Genevieve, honey, he said, you know what, it's nice to have a companion. And he is a little sweet on her. I said, well, all right, Mr. Prosper, do what you do, boo. And then they started talking about Ralph, Angel, and Deisha. He said that he's going to take her on a date tonight, and he about to ask her to be his girlfriend. And so they like, oh, you going to have a girlfriend or whatever? I think she good for you or whatever. So Charlie and Nova still, you know, growing and getting to know each other, right? So they talk about this summer that they shared together. And it's interesting, this whole scene, because of perspective, right? Perspective is a mug, child. So they talk about how they shared a daddy in the summer, and this one time Nova came to visit Charlie in California. So Nova's perspective is, she took her a party, she looked at her and said, you know, all my friends are here, be cool, you know what I mean, act like you belong. And so then she said later on the night, she overheard her friend asking if that's her sister, and she said, oh, that's my half sister, you know, she's all right. And so she felt rejected, you know, she ditched her at the party basically. But Charlie doesn't remember saying these things, and she says, all I remember from that trip is how you was talking about me. You know, you kept talking about my clothes, you talked about my house, you talked about this. And she was like, well, you was taking me all these places you knew I couldn't afford. Nova says that she feels small around Charlie, and first for a long time she thought it was her, but then for a long time she thought it was Charlie. And you know, both of them are wrong. You know, it's wrong for her to feel that way, that it's her fault or Charlie's fault. Sometimes things just are the way they are. Like I said, perception is a mug, right? And we all said that when Nova wrote in that book, she wrote with a vitriol that she really didn't even realize you jealous of your sister, or you feel small around your sister, so you vilify her, and she's not a villain. You know what I mean? It's crazy. That was a really good scene. Vi and Darla have this serious, intense talk where Vi is trying to get her to say what happened. You know, speak it out. You know how you speak the truth or whatever. Just say it out loud. Say what happened. She was like, basically, she tells her she don't know what happened the night that, you know, the boy was conceived, that Blue was conceived, and she was raped. I mean, you know, Vi is trying to get her to say that she was raped. I mean, you can't consent to something where you're really, really, really drunk, right? But, you know, she tells her you was raped. And, you know, basically she lets her know that my husband raped me too. You know, even though we was married or whatever, he forced me to be with him. And they kind of bond over that moment. I thought this was a nice scene between the two of them because, you know, they don't really bond that much. You know, Vi don't really mess with Darla like that. So it was nice to see that she was the one who actually helped save Darla in her most time of need. So that was a pretty good scene between the two of them. So Micah and the guys, he comes back with Blue. Blue tells him he's had in a police car, you know, and they tell him what happened, and everybody's like, Mike, are you good? Are you okay? You know, Ralph Angel was a little, which I would be too, like, wait a minute, now don't be losing my child. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, okay? But then, you know, he was just like, are you good? Are you okay? And Micah said he was good. He said he was okay, but he's just tired of going through that. You know, he's just tired of the power. Like I said, you just tired of feeling like that all the time or whatever. So they tell him keep his head up, and, you know, Prosper give him some words of encouragement. Child, Prosper just be speaking. I said, you better speak, sir. I calls Ralph Angel and tells him that he needs to come over to Darla's house. And she tells him about the night, the two guys, and what happened to her, and she's just now coming to the realization that she was raped that night. And she apologized to him for everything, you know, that's happened between them over the years or whatever. And he tells her that she don't have to apologize, and, you know, they're gonna get through it. And he's crying and she's crying, and he said he's right here with her. He gonna be with her for the step, you know, every step of the way, and he don't look at Blue no differently, and nothing, you know, has changed about that situation. The next day, we see him wake up to some missed calls from Deisha. Now, he done stood her up and didn't show up for the date because he was looking after Darla. So he looks at the picture of Blue, and he goes in the bedroom and looks at Darla sleeping. She wakes up, and she tells him that she just feels empty. And he said, you know, he could stay with her for a little longer. And she says that, you know, they have to go to work. She started rubbing him on his arm, and, you know, he looking at her lovingly, and that he gets up and leaves. And that's how the episode went on. Child, I was like, fuck out of here. Okay, like, they gonna make Ralph Angel make a choice between the two of them, and I pretty much feel like he always gonna pick Darla. Now, I was mad. This is why it took me a long time to make this, because I was pissed, because I was like, I can't believe they set this up like this for him to leave somebody else and go back to Darla again. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't think him and Darla need to be together. And I'm going to address, first let me address a comment somebody put down below this video, a video last week for this show. And they said that I didn't understand. I don't think that Ralph Angel is the sole reason why she's out here drinking, okay? Or out here, you know, going through this problem. I know that addiction is her main struggle. But Ralph Angel moving on from her is definitely a trigger to her, because if that wasn't the case, when Blue was on the phone with her talking about Deisha did this, Miss Deisha did that, Miss Deisha, she wouldn't have been a ball of tears if it was really about you struggling with addiction. It was the fact that she felt like she was getting pushed out, and I don't mean necessarily romantically, I just mean like pushed out in the family, right? I'm getting pushed out, and nobody pushing her out. Like I said, he hasn't pushed her out, but that's how she's feeling. Pushed out by the family, pushed out by the boyfriend. You don't really mess with your mom and them like that. And so she was feeling really alone, and that's a trigger for her. Now, I do feel like him and her don't need to be together, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Because their whole relationship is based on trauma. If you think about back to season 1 and even before the show came on, they talk about how they got together and how it was great for a minute. But when they got together, she was already partying, drinking, doing all that type of stuff, right? They took a break. That's when she went up home. She went to the party. What happened? She got pregnant. She came back, and that's when she sat her ass down when she figured out she was pregnant, right? When have you ever known in the history of this show that Ralph, Angel, and Darla have been in a happy, healthy, and stable relationship? Never. Their whole relationship is based on a trauma bond. And I'm a little disappointed in the fact that Queen Sugar never took the moment to get her to call her sponsor. I feel like she used Ralph Angel as a person, as an emotional crutch. If you think about it, in season 1, Ralph Angel liked the teacher, a nice young lady, a beautiful young lady, a smart girl with a career who liked him back, okay? And guess who came back through? Darla. In season 3, he was with the Asian girl, 2 or 3. He was with the Asian girl. And Darla didn't come back, but it was so much shit with Darla, okay? Drama with the baby and not being his and all them things he was going through. He couldn't even focus on being on a relationship. More drama, okay? Now we back with Darla again and her trauma. And the fact is, Nova in writing this book, yes, it is a catalyst for the reason why. It's another trigger for why she's going through all of this, right? But everybody in that book is not being destructive. The only person that's being destructive is her. Ralph Angel didn't go beat nobody up, rob nobody, or go do nothing he wasn't supposed to do because of what's in the book. Charlie didn't hurt nobody because of what was in the book. Vi didn't get back with Jimmy Dale and leave her husband, okay? Because of the book. So everybody else is dealing with this the best way they know how to deal with it, right? Not being destructive. And she has all the tools that she needs. So don't give me that shit about, oh, she addiction and she this, that. And she have all the tools that she needs to help her with her addiction. She has a sponsor. She knows her steps. She told that man, I'm working my steps. She know what she's supposed to do. She just ain't want to do it. She just called Ralph Angel. When the people came at her in the office, she called Ralph Angel. When she get upset, she called Ralph Angel. She's always calling Ralph Angel. And the fact is, Ralph Angel ain't qualified to do this for her. Okay? And when I don't think right now, I think they need to be apart so they can be whole, complete people and then get together. The only time they bond and be close is over trauma, drama, and sadness. Like, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I'm sorry, I do not see it. I do not like it. And they gonna take us on this giant fucking love affair. You know, they gonna be the love couple and end up at the end of the season. It really don't matter who he end up with, because I feel like Queen Sugar gonna put them back together at the end anyway. But I just feel like, when are we gonna see this woman overcome this disease without laying up under a nigga? Like, I'm just, no tea, no shade. I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. I liked when Darla was getting herself together, was finally standing up for herself and become her own woman. And now her whole fucking happiness is halfway. Okay, I'm going to give you halfway. Halfway dependent on a man. Or some being a part of somebody's family. Like, when is this girl going to find peace, love, and joy and fullness within herself? At least to the point where she not always going back to the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like it. You know, then this ain't no critique for, you know, Darla being on drugs. I ain't got nothing to say about all that because the girl was raped. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was none of that was her fault. I'm not even going to go at that kind of stuff. But what I'm telling you is they don't need to be together. The relationship that they was forming as friends and co-parents, I thought was so good and so good to see. And now we back here with she rubbing on his arm. And then on top of that, you just got finished talking about a traumatic ass sexual assault, right? And you rubbing on this nigga arm, giving him the googly eyes the next morning, 12 hours later, and you know he talking to somebody. You know he dating somebody. I can't, y'all. I can't. I refuse. Okay, I want her to be happy and healthy and whole without having to lay up under Ralph Angel. I just want her to do it just one time in her life. My God. Okay? Because what is the thing that really started all this? Like I said, the book. At the point, like, you knew what to do before it got this far. Like, I just don't, I cannot. I can't. I won't. So, that's how the episode went off. So we'll see what happens next week. I want to hear your thoughts on the episode. You can disagree with me if you want to. I don't care. Go for me, okay? Come at me. It's all good. And I will holler at y'all next week. Peace.